Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Vicky and I create detailed sewing tutorials to help you improve your skills. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to sew a classic men's trouser from start to finish. A lot of you requested this sewing tutorial, so I'm glad to finally share it. If you want to learn how to sew men's trousers like a pro, keep watching and let's get started. After cutting out the shoulder pieces, I moved on to cutting the pocket and the flap for the zip area. As you can see, one side of the flap is shaped this way so it can be folded and properly enclosed when sewn together. On the waistline, I'll measure 2.5 inches inward and connect that point to the notched area, which is 7 inches down. Once connected, I'll carefully cut along that line to create the pocket opening. To ensure the pocket lining follows the same slant as the trouser, I'll place the trouser piece on top of the pocket fabric as a guide, then I'll measure 2.5 inches from the top, trim the pocket piece accordingly. The next thing I'm going to do is iron gum stay on the slanted part of the trouser. This helps the pocket area stay firm and not stretch out later. There are actually two ways to attach pockets to men's trouser, but in this video, I'll be showing you one method. In my next video, I'll show you the second method so you can decide which one works best for you. Now, place the pocket fabric on the trouser right sides facing each other and sew it together along the slanted edge. After sewing, I'll turn it properly and stop stitch along the slanted line to give it that neat finish. Next, I'll fold the pocket fabric so both sides meet each other neatly. Before stitching it close, I'll measure 2.5 inches at the top to replace the 2.5 inches we cut out earlier. I'll pin it down so it doesn't shift while sewing, then I'll stitch along the chalk line to close the pocket bag. To secure the pockets properly, I'll stitch 1 inch down from the top, then go in by ½ inch before stitching across. This helps the pocket sit flat and not pull when it's worn. Just guide to repeat the same process for the second piece and also weave the sides of the trouser and also the hem. As you can see, I've gone ahead to iron interface into the flaps to give them structure and prevent them from collapsing over time. After that, I'll weave the edges of the flaps neatly to avoid fraying. This is what it looks like once it's properly weaved. This is the zipper we'll be installing, but before attaching it, I'll place both trouser pieces on top of each other to make sure they're perfectly aligned and equal on the zipper area. On the zipper area, I'll measure 7 inches down from the top and make a small notch to mark where the zipper will stop. To sew the curved area, I'll move up by ½ inch and stitch inward by ½ inch to shape the cloth neatly, just as you see me in the video doing. After stitching, this is what it looks like. Now, on the right side of the trouser, I'll place the zipper on top of the trouser and then I'll go ahead to take it to my sewing machine to stitch, stopping at the notched area. Make sure you do not pass the notched area. After sewing that side, I'll take the closed part of the flap and stitch it over the zipper as well. Some people prefer sewing both layers together at once, but I like sewing them separately for better control. Once that's done, I'll top stitch along this area to help the zipper and the trouser sit firmly and neat. For the left side, I've turned the trouser so it's facing me. As you can see, the curved flap has already been neatly weaved. I'll sew the straight edge of the flap onto the trouser like this. Then I'll take it to the sewing machine now to stitch. After stitching, stop stitch it down to secure it properly. To close the zipper neatly on both sides, I'll turn the trouser so the right sides are facing each other. Just pay close attention here so you don't miss the step. Make sure the zipper is positioned just after the sewn line of the flap. This keeps the stitch line hidden inside and prevents it from showing on the outside. Take it to our sewing machine now to stitch the straight line like this. If you're finding this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more detailed sewing tutorials. This is what it looks like afterwards. Now, to hold the flap firmly to the trouser, I'll use my chalk to draw the curve shape, then take it to the sewing machine to stitch along that line. Before sewing, I like to pin the closed part of the flap aside with the trouser. That way, while I'm stitching along the curve, it doesn't by mistake get caught in the seam. Now I'll just take this to the sewing machine to sew following the direction of the chalk. After sewing, I'll flip the trouser to the back and stitch both sides of the flap together to secure it properly. As you can see now, both flaps are firmly secured, and this is how the front piece of the trouser should look like, neat and clean. The next thing I'll do is place the back piece on top of the front piece, aligning everything properly. From the top, I'll measure 3/4 of an inch and sew straight down. After sewing the sides, I went ahead to iron the seams open, just like you see in the video. Pressing your seams makes a big difference in how professional your trouser looks. Now for the black flap, I'll fold the trouser like this. From the sewn side, I'll just measure the hip area. My client's hip measurement is 44 inches, so I'm using 11 inches here, which is 44 inches divided by 4. To get the waist measurement, I'll measure from the center of the front flap to one end of the back flap. The waist measurement is 34 inches divided by 2. That gives me 17 inches. So that leaves a 2-inch allowance. I'll go ahead now to flip the back flap, mark the 2-inch allowance on the waistline, and connect it to the hip line I marked earlier. At the end of the flap area, I will mark ½ inch and connect it to meet the other points. Before stitching, I'll come down by 1 inch. This is where the waistband will be attached, so I'll just stop my sewing at this 1 inch mark. Next, I'll join the front and back flaps together, making sure both sides are perfectly aligned before stitching. So now I'll take it to the sewing machine to stitch with ½ an inch. As you can see in the video, they are both equal. To avoid having different measurements at your knee area, measure from the hem up to your knee line, then transfer whatever measurement you get to the other leg. Now I'll just go ahead to pin everything carefully. The bottom measurement of my client is 16 inches divided by 2, which gives me 8 inches on each side. I'll go ahead to mark 8 inches here. And the knee measurement of my client is 11 inches, which is 22 divided by 2. Now I'll go ahead to connect the lines together from the hem line to the knee line. Now when you get to the flap area, you connect the lines with ½ an inch to the flap area. Make sure it is ½ an inch and not more than ½ an inch. Now I'll just take this to the sewing machine to stitch, following the direction of my chalk. Now I'll just go ahead to repeat the same process for the second leg. If this is your first time here, please subscribe, like and share my videos. Whatever question you have, just tell me in the comment section. I'll be there waiting. After sewing, I press the seam on this side open, just like I did earlier on the side seams. Pressing your seams properly is what gives your trouser that clean, professional look. You can already see how neat and perfect the trouser is turning out. Now to cut the waistband, I'll go ahead to measure the waistline. From this end, this waistline gave me 20 inches plus 1 inch for stitching allowance, 21 inches. And for the second waistline, I got 23 inches plus 1 inch, which will give me 24 inches. After cutting the band, I ironed gum stay on it. So now I'm just going to be trimming out any excess remaining. So I also repeat the same thing for the second band. The belt loops, I went ahead to cut the fabric of 2 inches long and 22 inches breadth. I'll take it to the machine and stitch it like this. After stitching, I'll cut it into 6 pieces, each 3½ inches long. On the trouser, I'll mark 3 inches from the slanted pocket toward the flap. From the side seam, I'll mark 1½ inches. From the back flap, remember we left a 2-inch allowance. I'll measure 1½ inches from there, which gives me 3½ inches from the back flap. I'll just go ahead now to repeat the same measurement on the other side. To attach the waistband to the trouser, remember the 1-inch allowance we added earlier. That allowance is what we'll use to join the sides neatly. That's the side of the waistband. On the marked point, I'll place the belt loop straps and sew all round. This is what the waistband looks like after sewing, but we're not done yet. Next, I'll trim off the excess at the top. To join the sides of the waistband, fold this area inward like this, then bend the band. Leave a small extension at the folded edge, then stitch following the chalk line. After stitching, trim off the excess and repeat the same process on the other side. For the back flap, I'll mark 2 inches, then push the sewn piece inward. I'll stitch from that 2-inch mark to meet the previous seam, making sure both lines merge neatly. As you can see now, this is how neatly and how beautiful it looks. To close the band, fold it inward like this, then bend it slightly, leaving a small allowance. Pin from the front, working your way around. After pinning all round, take it to the machine and stitch. When sewing the waistband, make sure you stitch directly on the seam line of the band. This prevents any sewing lines from showing on the outside and keeps everything neat. After closing the band, this is what it looks like. Now for the belt loops, place the strap facing downward and stitch them to the trouser with half an inch. Then flip the strap upward to the top of the waistband. Fold the edge inward by half inch and stitch across to secure it. Now this is what the finished belt loops looks like. Well neat and structured. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share my videos. Before ending the trouser, I like to press the crease line first. To get a perfectly centered crease, align the side seams so they sit directly on top of each other. The fold you get at the center is your crease line. Press it firmly to set the shape. Next, measure the full trouser length from the waist downward. Whatever hem allowance you get, fold it inward neatly and press before stitching. As you can see, I've already attached the button and made the buttonholes. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more detailed sewing classes. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.